Hello again. Tonight it's actually April 1st. It's about 2:30 in the morning, and we're drinking Miller Lite tonight. Just wanted to reflect on my childhood. I have many friends on Facebook who I grew up with and have since moved away, and I've moved kind of far away, but I'm not. I'm still within driving distance. I grew up in a small town on the Jersey Shore, Manahawkin, and within Manahawkin, in a development called Ocean Acres. It's about 10 miles from Long Beach Island. Um, Very small, tight knit community back then. Um, I guess my parents, we moved down there back in 1974, 5-ish, somewhere around there. It was like right before kindergarten, and having the house built on a small little side street in Ocean Acres, there was more woods and houses. Um, those are the good old days. I mean, back then we would play cops and robbers, army, um, cowboys and Indians, whatever game you want to call it, manhunt. Um, we were out till 11, 12, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, just playing these games because or these neighborhood games. I mean, I mean, because everybody knew everybody. There was only a few dozen houses in the development. Um, and uh, and nowadays that's just not the way it is. But I want to go back to where the way it was, because a lot of people I've talked to now, they live in Ocean Acres, and they don't know, or they don't, not because they don't know, they just weren't there when it was what it was. I mean, Ocean Acres, Manahawk, and Stafford, even LBI to a certain extent, back in the late 70s, 80s. I mean, I'm sure there's people who live there now. They don't even realize at one point there was an airport in Manahawkin. Where the Walmart sits now, there was an airport. We used to play Little League Baseball. Now it's called Doc Kramer. Back then it was called 7th Ave. We used to play baseball, and we were about to actually delay the game as a small plane would come in for a landing or take off, just in case it was a pop up that would hit the plane. Um, I mean, but those were the days when these small little towns. I mean, everybody, like I said, everybody knew everybody. Everybody had each other's backs. Um, it was definitely a good time. I mean, we would play baseball. We would play street hockey, tackle football. We played touch football in the summertime, tackle football in the streets in the wintertime when it was snow and ice. So when you got tackled, you wouldn't get hurt. Um, but even not just in Ocean Acres, but back then, for you youngsters out there who are watching this, we didn't have TV all night. Like I said, it's about 2:30 now. Um, when I was growing up, back in the about this time, back in the late 70s, early 80s, I was fortunate enough to have a TV in my bedroom, but it didn't do any good because it played the national anthem and then it went to snow. There was no TV between like 2:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning. And then we wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30. We have there was a News Zoo review. I'm sure people now you're all laughing because we all knew News Zoo review. We'd watch that. There was a couple other. I can't recall all of them, but I do remember News Zoo review and watching that. Mr. Rogers and anyway. I digressed. Just reflect. Like I said, I'm reflecting on the days of the late 70s to mid 80s, and I'm sure everybody has their own personal memories. And And those times, we didn't have a computer. I had a Commodore VIC-20. There were no CDs. It was a cassette tape. I mean, if you were fortunate, maybe you had a Commodore 64. That actually had a floppy disk. And then then other computers came out. You had it wasn't Dell. I don't even know what it was. It was IBM. IBM came out, and now they were called all IBM compatible. We started off with Atari. Atari was great, and then you had ColecoVision, and then there was a couple other games. Nintendo. You got Nintendo. Nintendo 64 came out, and if you only had Nintendo, it was like, oh damn, what? You got to get the 64. You played Mario Brothers, Pitfall, Space Invaders on Atari, Pong on Atari, but it was much simpler times, and most of the time you didn't play video games. You got your ass outside and played basketball. You played street bas. We were outside, and we played basketball under the street lights until whatever time. I'll tell you. I'll share a quick funny story. I mean, I forget what winter it was. My brother Rich, we were out playing ice hockey on a little pond in Ocean Acres. It's the one right off of Forecastle between. Back then it was Cumberland Farms. Now it's Circle K and Wawa. He was the craziest kid back then. There's probably a couple of stories I can probably share, but this one, we're playing ice hockey on the pond, and the puck goes down along the edge of the ice. He goes, "Oh, I'll go get it." Sure enough, he falls to the ice. Now, the pond, that particular where he fell through, was only waist deep. So we're all laughing at him because we knew he was be okay. He gets out, goes home, gets changed. He's back in a half an hour later. Sure enough, the puck goes basically 15 feet away from him. He goes, "Oh, I'll go get it again." Sure enough, falls through again. I mean, you got to think. He fell through the ice twice within a matter of an hour or two. But that's just the way he was. Anyway, but that town, that community, I'm sure I'm bringing back memories for everyone who actually lives there now and who grew up back then. I mean, it was there were definitely good times, and probably not making a whole lot of sense. But I just want to share some childhood memories, or even not even childhood, young memories, teenager or whatever. I used to. Nowadays, you can't even do this. I was just talking. I saw somebody post something on Facebook. I used to actually walk from where I lived. I would walk 5 or 6 blocks down one of the main roads in the development, wearing an orange jacket with my shotgun in the carrying case. I had a couple boxes of ammo. I'm 16 years old, walking down the street with a shotgun and ammo, going hunting. Now, if that happens nowadays, dude's getting arrested real fast. So, I mean, that's how times have changed. I mean, I never even thought of, nobody back then thought of doing something stupid with a gun. You would hunt. I mean, walk across Route 72 into the woods and do pheasant. Deer back there, I wouldn't go deer. I would do more pheasant hunting, and then we'll go down to Stafford Forge to do some pheasant hunting. But it was definitely a different time and simpler times. Anyway, for those who watch this, hopefully it brought you back, especially the ones in Manahawkin and Ocean Acres, brought you back to those times. Buccaneer Pit, Cox's Pit. Come on, now I know I have you guys listening, and paying attention. You had parkway trails, leaving the high school, walking through. You had the Cedar Creeks, the Cedar Pond. Um, I'm sure you guys, there's probably more, you guys know more about other things than me. But you had all those things. Buccaneer Pit was definitely one of the top ones. Anyway, like I said, hopefully it brought you guys back to a simpler time, made you think, reflect, and put a little smile on your face. Until next time, have a Miller Lite and enjoy. Because in 15 years, we'll be talking about the times where we are now. So, take care.